chakra readings. So I haven't done one of these messages in a minute, like Ask Chenoa type things. One of my longtime supporters, I don't like using the word client, the sister of mine. I just got out the shower, so I'm like over here. I'm drying off naturally, so I was like, might as well let me just do this real quick, Anyway, so she reached out to me and asked me a question via email, and she was like, what happens if I decide to settle or something like that. Basically, she was asking what if she decided to just settle instead of or settle for stability, along the lines of that, like just somebody that's just good on paper, like he's stable, he's got everything together financially, I'm assuming, but he's not the person for her, like he's not her in the spiritual community, her vibrational match in the Christian community, equally yoked, right? So he's not that, but it's stable, it looks good on paper, which a lot of people do opt for that. And I told her, I was like, honestly, anytime you settle, whether it's settling in love, whether it's settling for a job or career that you're not passionate about, that you're not really called to, but it makes good money, you're going to feel a sense of lack. You're not going to be content because that's not the path for you. You know what I mean? You're going to feel a temporary fulfillment, if anything, because like money and all of that it does fulfill you, to some extent and for a time. But ultimately, if you're someone that is soul driven and soul led and needs to be soul fed, you're going to feel empty. You're not going to be content. So same thing with love. Like some women are cool with just buy me a bag, buy me some cars, he got money. They're okay with that. And honestly, I feel like, not shaming anybody, but I honestly feel like a part of it, there's many layers to that. I feel like it's brokenness, it's safety, it's secure. You're lying to yourself saying you don't want love, you just want money, and you don't trust people, so you'll settle for that. Also could just be like, if you're a soul driven person and you desire depth, you desire companionship on a deep level, you're not going to feel content in those type of situations. You're just not. And another thing that I told her was that, because we can get frustrated on the journey, like, okay, we like somebody, it doesn't go nowhere, or this person is not reciprocating, or they're not trying to, because dating nowadays is so weird. And I just sat my ass out a long time ago with it, but it's just at a point where then it's a narrow path. And I always tell people that, like, choosing what's divinely meant for you, whether it's a job, a career, whether it's love, whatever it is, to say to yourself, I'm going to strive towards a goal, or I'm going to put myself in a position to receive that which my heart and soul desires. And it may not come easy, because something about it may be, maybe an abstract career. It could be a love that you don't see every day, but it exists, what you deserve it. And it's easy to just settle for something mediocre, settle for sex, settle for someone that just looks good, or where you have okay compatibility or whatever. But it's toxic, because when you get into a relationship with somebody that's not for you, your soul is not going to be content. It's always going to be a constant lack there. It's going to be an up and down roller coaster, in and out. And not saying that everything comes easy and it comes perfect. The path that is most likely for you is never going to be something that just is handed to you easily. It is something that requires patience, and it requires your faith. If it was to just come easy, where's the inspiration? Where is the victory in that, when it just is handed to you? You know what I mean? But one thing about authentic connections and authentic love is it brings peace. It instills peace. It never takes from you. So I told her, I was like, what if all these guys that you wanted it to work out with, or you were attracted to, but there's always a catch, he's never available, or he ain't trying to, make anything real between the two of you, or they're just using you, or maybe you feel overlooked. What if that is the thing, the indicator that lets you know that they're not it. So when the real deal comes, this person will show up in ways that no one else has ever shown up, because the other ones could not show up because they're not him. Sometimes we get beat, like we beat ourselves up and be like, oh, well, I put myself out there, or I did this, I did that, and it didn't work out, or nobody's checking for me right now. About what if that's your protection, sis? You want it to work with people that it's not going to work with anyway. It's not going to last. It's not built to last. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, if you're someone that is soul-led, you're not going to be able to settle. Your soul's not even going to be in it. So why waste your time? It's not even going to, for some of us, we can't even do that. Like, even if we put it out there that we're trying to, like, you know, fuck it, I'm going to just settle. I'm going to just go with what's available, what's easy, you know, what wants me now. Because I could have been married by now. I could have been in a relationship by now if I really wanted to. You know, whoever is thirsty enough to, you know, be with me, or if I'm thirsty enough to be with somebody that wants me that I don't want, or it wasn't healthy staying with that person, I could have still been in a relationship. Still, the choice to be like, nah, I want something that's healthy. I want something for the first time that really chooses me and is a divine match to me, where I don't have to force it, or where I don't feel like I'm not enough, or the person is not, you know, loving and unconditionally loving, and you know, there's no growth in this. I could easily go be with somebody and just go settle for a counterfeit right now if I want to. And that's not what God wants for you. So in short, long story short, if that was the path for you, it would have already been. And I'm sure some of you guys could have stayed in toxic relationships if you wanted to, or some of you guys could be, you know, entertaining something that, you know, it's not really for you, but it's available and you're bored, or it looks good. Everybody else, you know, has a man or has a girlfriend. So you want to make it seem like you got it going on too, but your soul is empty with that person. You're not satisfied, you know, and some people are trying to find that fulfillment in validation through another person. And you're not going to find that until you find that validation within yourself. So you can keep searching and searching, but ultimately you're going to be caught in a whirlwind until you allow yourself that time to be available for that thing that you want. Because 9 times out of 10, and this is what I learned, I mean, it's obvious that anytime we want something or someone that is not available for us, whether it's emotionally available, spiritually available, mentally, actually available, that is because there's something inside of you that is not available for that thing that you say that you want. So you're going to attract those almost and what ifs and shoulda couldas and never going to be, because you're not ready for that. Until you make yourself available for it, put yourself in that space to receive it, then it's just going to be a cycle and repeat. And again, it's going to be a time where you're not going to have, your phone's not going to be blowing up. You might just be attracting nothing but dusties, or people that you don't really want to deal with, talk to, or, you know, just all kind of a mess, because Spirit's trying to make space and make room for what's for you. So those options ain't going to be, you know, too juicy right now. And I think I had this conversation with another sister of mine. She was telling me, she was like, talking about what she's attracting, and she's like, they could be fine, but they just ain't doing it for me. Exactly. Like, fine is not enough. Like, he can't just be cute. He can't just have this and that. It just can't be that. If there's nothing else to it, if you don't feel nothing, and I feel like that's a blessing too, because that lets you know that ain't your person. If you're not excited or enticed by attractiveness or what somebody has or what they're telling you, or they could be available, but you're just not in it, that means like you're, you know, you on the right path, because your energy is like repelling anything that's not for you, and that's not it. So I didn't mean for this to be like a 10-minute thing, but I guess somebody needs to hear it. Hopefully this will be a message to encourage someone not to, you know, not to forfeit, because I know it's a narrow path. Trust me, sis. Like, trust me. I've been single for shit, I don't even know. I hope it ain't been 10 years yet. I don't think it's been that long, but almost. And it's not something that you want all the time, but then there's times where I'm grateful that I'm not in something that I'm not satisfied with or happy with, and I'm okay with being patient. I'm okay with looking like, bitch, why you ain't got no man yet? I'm okay with that. And in the time that I've been single, I've accomplished things for myself. I've healed a lot. I've spent time with myself in ways that I needed to. I've learned things about myself. In the meantime, I've grown closer to God. It's so many beautiful things that come from your singleness. It's not a death sentence. It's not anything to shame yourself for. So I know that society will make you think that, especially if you're a woman. If you're a man, they may be like, oh, you gay, you ain't got no, like, I understand all of that. I get it. I understand. And if you're gay, you know, that's fine. Maybe some people are pressuring you when you're going to get married and all of that. It's okay. Matter of fact, one of my older cousins had the nerve to ask me, like, when am I going to get married? I'm like, I'm 33. And when I think about it, I used to be like, oh my God, I'm so old. I'm about to be 34 this year. Oh my God. Anyway, but I would just be kind of like, I'm getting old, but really that's really young. Actually, when you think about it, it's a pretty decent age. You know, there's no time limit. Our journeys, and that's another thing too. Our journey is our own. Society could say you should have graduated out of college by this time, you should have kids by this time, you should be married by this time, you should be doing this and that. But everybody's timeline is different. In the world that we live in now, the economy we live in, certain things that we would like to accomplish, not all of us will see wealth in our lifetime. So we got to be okay with the fact that there's certain things maybe that we can't accomplish right now. Not saying that you never will, but if you had like a specific timeline based off of what your mama said or your dad said or whatever you see on social media or whatever, like, that's man-made restrictions. Like, you have your own divine time that you will accomplish, and you will see things when it's your time. Okay, there's things that you have to experience that maybe somebody else didn't have to experience, or they didn't have to go through what you went through, and vice versa. Like, never covet another person's journey, because you don't know what it took for them to get to where they're at. You don't understand that, you know what I mean? And others will not understand you. So you have to have the courage enough even to say, I'm not even going to be pressured by what other people think about where I'm at, or listen to what they're saying and make me feel bad. If you genuinely know and understand where you're at in your journey, in the season that you're in at this time, or you have that relationship with divine where you know, okay, it's not the time right now. This is the plan. This is what we're supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be focused on. This is what I'm supposed to be manifesting or cultivating or clearing or releasing. You know what I mean? This is where I'm supposed to place my focus. Then what everybody else is just chitter chatter what they're saying. And it could come from a place of love and concern. It may really well can be. But some of it, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. They don't understand the path. They don't understand it. So, you know, that's one thing. And one of the things that I've really taken pride in is the fact that I have not forfeited what I wanted. If it doesn't work out with whoever or whatever I thought I wanted to be with or work out or may have likes or whatever, that I can't sweat that too much, because if it's not them, it's not them. So you're just doing me a favor by making space for what is for me. You know what I mean? And choosing not to have sex and things like that, that is a discipline. It really, really is. And it's not for, you know, to be a goody two shoes. That's me protecting my energy and also cherishing myself and my energy to say, you know, I don't want to just sleep with anybody and I'm not just going to give it away, because in the past, that's not what my mindset was. I didn't look at sex as something sacred. So I don't care if I'm familiar with you. I don't care if we have a connection, like we like each other, we feeling each other. That's not enough, you know, especially if it's something that's not supposed to, you know, be. It's just something temporary, or it's just a soul. Like, I don't want no more soul ties. Let's just put it that way. Do not want any more soul ties. No energetic, nothing where I'm tied to someone that is not for me, where I have to clear it out. And then the person that's for me is on hold because I got this temporary space filled up with somebody that's not even supposed to be, like, you know what I mean? Like, who wants to deal with all that? So that's why I say it's a narrow path, because some people will be like, oh, you just need to go out. You just need to explore. You need to just date. You need to just, you know, do this and that. But then you got to deal with the energy of somebody else, or the drama connected to that situation potentially, or the getting over them, or them getting over you. And, you know, all of those cords and wires and entanglements that's just unnecessary, where you could just be a free spirit, free bird, free eagle flying out in this motherfucker and come into contact with the person that's for you. And I guarantee you their energy is going to stand out. It's going to stand out to you. It's going to be something different, because it's too easy to just, we live in a world of temptation. Like, it's too much temptation out here. You know what I mean? It's too much temptation. It's too much easy access to ass and sex and dating and this person and that. It's too easy. So when you find something that's sacred, it's going to stand out to you. It's going to. So much love as always. Peace.